Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yamunatiravanam Sari Yamunatiravanam Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yamunatiravanam Sari Yamunatiravanam Sari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radha Madhava Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Gaura Pimanandi, Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Parivrajgacharya Stotra Satya Sri Samad His Divine Grace, Sirabai Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, ISKCON BBT Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Janitai Gaura Pimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksurandaritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Sya Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Shaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed, practically nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Uttamasloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Maha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Mukham karoti vacharam pangum langayate girim. Yat kripat maham bandhe Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripat maham bandhe Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavatam class. We are continuing to read from Canto number 2, chapter number 1, entitled The First Step in God Realization. And today is text number 10. Okay, we have a long purport this morning. Tad aham te vidyashyami maha porushiko bhavan yasya sradhathatam ashu shyan mukunde matihi sati tadaham te bijhasyami mahaporushiko bhavan yasya sradhadatam ashu Syan mukunde mati sati tadaham te bijhasyami mahaporushiko bhavan yasya sradhadatam ashu Syan mukunde mati sati tadaham te bijhasyami mahaporushiko bhavan yasya sradhadatam ashu Syan mukunde mati sati. Tatam te vidyasyami mahaporushito bhavan yasya sradhadatam ashu Shanmukunde mati sati. Tadaham te vidyashyami Mahapurushiko bhavan Yasya sradatamashu Shanmukunde mati sati.
Tadaham te abhidishyami
Tadaham te vidyashyami
Mahapurushiko bhavan
Mahapurushiko bhavan
Yasya sraddhadatam ashu
Yasya sradatatam masu
Shanmukunde mati sati
Shanmukunde mati sati. That aham I te unto you abhidyashyami shall recite Mahapurushikaha, the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. Bhavan, your good self. Yasya, of which. Sradhatatam, of one who gives full respect and attention. Ashu, very soon. Syat, it so becomes. Mukunde, unto the Lord, who awards salvation. Matihi, faith. Sati, unflinching. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. That very Srimad Bhagavatam I shall recite before you because you are the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. One who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord, the giver of salvation. Kindly repeat after me. That very Srimad Bhagavatam I shall recite before you because you are the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. One who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord, the giver of salvation. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is recognized Vedic wisdom. Srimad Bhagavatam is recognized Vedic wisdom. And the system of receiving Vedic knowledge is called Avaroha Pantha. Avaroha Pantha, or the process of receiving transcendental knowledge through bona fide disciplic succession. For advancement of material knowledge, there is need for personal ability and researching aptitude. But in the case of spiritual knowledge, all progress depends more or less on the mercy of the spiritual master. The spiritual master must be satisfied with the disciple. Only then is knowledge automatically manifest before the student of spiritual science. Very important statements being made here. All progress depends more or less on the mercy of the spiritual master. The process should not, however, be misunderstood to be something like magical feats whereby the spiritual master acts like a magician and injects spiritual knowledge into his disciple, as if surcharging him with an electrical current. The bona fide spiritual master reasonably explains everything to the disciple on the authorities of Vedic wisdom. The disciple can receive such teachings not exactly intellectually, but by submissive inquiries and service attitude. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Same thing is being explained here. The idea is that both the spiritual master and the disciple must be bona fide. In this case, the spiritual master, Shukadeva Goswami, is ready to recite exactly what he has learned from his great father, Srila Vyasadeva, and the disciple, Maharaj Parikshit, is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. A devotee of Lord Krishna is he who believes sincerely that by becoming a devotee of the Lord, one becomes fully equipped with everything spiritual. This teaching is imparted by the Lord Himself in the pages of the Bhagavad Gita, in which it is clearly described that the Lord, Sri Krishna, is everything, and that to surrender unto Him solely and wholly makes one the most perfectly pious man. This unflinching faith in Lord Krishna prepares one to become a student of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is an interesting point. This unflinching faith in Lord Krishna, Prabhupada is speaking about Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita introduces us, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavad Gita introduces us to Krishna and to the basic knowledge or the basic teachings of transcendence. The basic principles of spiritual life are given in the Bhagavad Gita. Once having been introduced to these basic teachings, only then we can rise or come to the level of receiving the Srimad Bhagavatam. In other words, the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, when properly received, will give us that understanding and that faith that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we don't come to that point, and many people who read Bhagavad Gita don't come to that point, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then they will not be able to understand or appreciate Srimad Bhagavatam, isn't it? So the ideal student of the Srimad Bhagavatam is he who has understood the essence. Vedai sasarvair aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Aham, I am the essence of Vedic knowledge. I am to be known by the study. But study, Prabhupada is nicely explaining here, spiritual study. Material studies are different from spiritual studies. Material studies is more like requires intellectual effort or endeavor. Spiritual studies depends, as nicely mentioned here, on the mentality, the mood, the mental disposition. We call the mental disposition of the candidate or the student. So I'll just read this sentence again. This unflinching faith in Lord Krishna prepares one to become a student of Srimad Bhagavatam. And one who hears Srimad Bhagavatam from a devotee like Shukadeva Goswami is sure to attain salvation at the end, as Maharaj Parikshit did. The professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam and the pseudo devotees whose faith is based on 1 week's hearing are different from Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Yeah. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is not an affair of a week's hearing, where people take on certain vows during that week, and then finally, when the week is over, back to normal, back to Maya. Not always, but often. Yeah. Srila Vyasadeva explained Srimad Bhagavatam unto Shukadeva Goswami from the very beginning of the Janmadhyasa verse. And so, Shukadeva Goswami also explained it to the king. So first, Srimad Bhagavatam was explained by Srila Vyasadeva, who was instructed by Srila Narada Muni. So Guru Parampara, he explained to Shukadeva Goswami, and the same instruction has been transmitted by Shukadeva Goswami to King Parikshit Maharaj, and we are connected. It has been coming down. Up until our present day through the Guru Parampara. Lord Krishna is described as the Mahapurusha in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11. In his devotional feature as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So yeah, I was naturally, Prabhupada is making that connection. It means that to become a qualified student of Srimad Bhagavatam, we must first nicely receive the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. And to become a qualified student of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we must become a good student of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was residing in Jagannath Puri during the last 18 years of his manifest pastime, means from the age of 30 to 48, was simply completely absorbed in the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam is in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, The essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam is taking us to Vrindavan. The essence of Srimad Bhagavatam is taking us to pure bhakti, pure devotional service. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in that mood, that bhava. Therefore, Jagannath Puri is described as Bhava Vrindavan. We are sitting in Mayapur. Mayapur is Gupta Vrindavan. And then there is Bhoma Vrindavan. In Hebrew it is Dakshin Vrindavan. And our goal is to go to Goloka Vrindavan. Vrindavan everywhere. Vrindavan. Yeah. So Lord Krishna is described as the Mahapurusha in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11. In his devotional service, the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In his devotional service as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself in his devotional attitude, descended on earth to bestow special favors upon the fallen souls of this age of Kali. Here we are, trying to receive the mercy, the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. There are two verses particularly suitable to offer as prayers to this Mahapurusha feature of Lord Krishna. And that is from Bhagavatam, chapter 11, Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, verse 33 and 34. This is Brahma Samhita. Dhyeyam sada paribhava nam abhistadoham tirthaspadam shiva virinshi nutam saranyam bhrityarthiham pranata pala bhavad bhavabdhi potam bande mahapurusate Saranaravindam Tyaktva sadusyaja surepsita rajyalakshmin dharmista arya vachasayad agad aranyam maya brigam dayita yepsitam anvadavad Vande Mahapurusate Saranaravindam. Do you have the 11th canto?
11th canto? Yeah.
Can you take it out? I'll just continue the purport. The exact translation we'll give in a few minutes. And just to continue the purport, Prabhupada is telling, in other words, Purusha means the enjoyer. Yeah, we're looking for chapter 5. Canto 11, chapter 5, text 33 and 34. In other words, Purusha means the enjoyer, and Mahapurusha means the supreme enjoyer, or the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. One who deserves to approach the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is called the Maha Paurushika. That's mentioned in the verse here. Yes, in the text. Prabhupada translates in the text, Maha Paurushika, the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. Only one who becomes the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna can approach the Purusha, the supreme enjoyer. Anyone who hears Srimad Bhagavatam attentively from its bona fide reciter is sure to become a sincere devotee of the Lord, who is able to award liberation. There was none so attentive as Maharaj Parikshit in the matter of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And there was none so qualified as Shukadeva Goswami to recite the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are, in the 9 processes of bhakti devotional service, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, up until Atmanivedanam, different personalities have been designated or identified as exemplifying that particular process. So Prabhupada is referring to this here. Sravanam, the ideal example, the ideal personality, exemplary personality in the matter of hearing was Parikshit Maharaj. He did not only sit for half an hour or 1 hour or 2, but he sat and with rapt attention heard continuously 7 days and 7 nights. And the ideal speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore, anyone who follows in the footsteps of either the ideal reciter or the ideal hearer, did you find it?
No, because when that book printed from Singapore, 11, 12,
Okay.
it's not ready.
Okay.
Later it will translate.
Therefore, anyone who follows in the footsteps of either the ideal reciter or the ideal hearer, you can get my iPod. Okay. You have a smaller version of that.
Which shloka? 11.
That is fifth chapter, 33 and 34. Let us continue and finish the purport. Therefore, Haribol, Shanti. Therefore, anyone who follows in the footsteps of either the ideal reciter or the ideal hearer, Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit, respectively, will undoubtedly attain salvation like them. Maharaj Parikshit attained salvation by hearing only, and Shukadeva Goswami attained salvation only by reciting. So we don't have to follow all of the 9 processes, but at least one of them. Reciting and hearing are 2 processes out of 9 devotional activities, and by strenuously following the principles, either in all or by parts, one can attain the absolute plane. So the complete text of Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning with the Janmadhyasa verse up to the last one in the 12th canto, was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami for the attainment of salvation by Maharaj Parikshit. In the Padma Purana, it is mentioned that Gautama Muni advised Maharaj Ambarish to hear regularly Srimad Bhagavatam as it was recited by Shukadeva Goswami. And herein it is confirmed that Maharaj Ambarish heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the very beginning to the end, as it was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami. One who is actually interested in the Bhagavatam, therefore, must not play with it by reading or hearing a portion from here and a portion from there. One must follow in the footsteps of great kings like Maharaj Ambarish or Maharaj Parikshit and hear it from a bona fide representative of Shukadeva Goswami. And these are the verses mentioned a little earlier. I guess the first one is, from the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 5, text 33. Correct. We'll just read the translation to text 33. My dear Lord, you are the Mahapurusha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I worship your lotus feet, which are the only eternal object of meditation. Those feet destroy the embarrassing conditions of material life. Every day we are embarrassed in so many ways by the material energy, by the material world. Those feet, your lotus feet, destroy the embarrassing conditions of material life and freely award the greatest desire of the soul. What is the greatest desire of the soul? The attainment of pure love of Godhead. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places and of all saintly authorities in the line of devotional service, and are honored by powerful demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. My Lord, you are so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect, and thus you mercifully relieve all the distress of your servants. Haribol. All of our distress is being relieved as we speak and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. In conclusion, my Lord, your lotus feet are actually the suitable boat for crossing over the ocean of birth and death. And therefore, even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seek shelter at your lotus feet. We will not read the purport, otherwise we'll have another Bhagavatam class. We'll go to the next text. My God, can you find the next text? I thought it would follow, but... So text number 34 is coming up just now. 34 translation. Yes. O Mahapurusha, I worship your lotus feet. You gave up the association of the goddess of fortune and all her opulence, which is most difficult to renounce and is hankered after by even the great demigods. Being the most faithful follower of the path of religion, you thus left for the forest in obedience to a Brahmana's curse. Out of sheer mercifulness, you chased after the fallen conditioned souls who are always in pursuit of the false enjoyment of illusion. The conditioned souls are chasing after Maya, and Krishna is chasing after the conditioned souls. You chase after the fallen conditioned souls who are always in pursuit of the false enjoyment of illusion, And at the same time engaged in searching out your own desired object, Lord Shamsundar. Yes. And we have come to the end of the purport, and we have come to the end of the Bhagavatam class, unless there are any comments or questions.
Yesterday was a question.
Yesterday, yes.
The Sukadeva Goswami's first day was impersonal.
We're back to impersonalist topics, yeah.
I heard that when Devotee was sharing that he is the carrot of, in spiritual he is the carrot of the Radha Sukadeva Goswami.
The parrot of?
Radharan.
Yes.
So then he was there, he was a devotee, again impersonalist, again personalist. Is there any, is a part of the...
That's a very good question. That question came to my mind also yesterday, that if he was already there in Vrindavan as the parrot of Srimati Radharani, then how he became an impersonalist. Yes. I don't have an answer for that question. So, one understanding is that it's like Prabhupada explains that those who are Mahabhagavatas, those who are liberated souls, they sometimes come down from that position to the Madhyam platform. Of course, it's part of Leela so that Bhagavatam could be spoken by Srila Vyasadeva. Sometimes we see in the Leela of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a personality like Advaita Acharya also played the role of a Mayavadi. He was preaching Mayavad, and he was convincing people. He was such a powerful preacher that he convinced many people. As a matter of fact, 3 of his sons became affected, isn't it? So I would have to refer to commentaries of our acharyas on this question, and because I don't have access to those commentaries, most of them being in Sanskrit, I've not read on that, so I can't really comment very much on that. But it's an interesting point.
Because he was not long time as impersonalist. As soon as from what I can hear that.
He was not a long time as impersonalist. Well, he was 16 years. Yeah, which is relatively short, of course. Anything else? Okay. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Pimanande. हाँ बंदो करो. So who is your friend?
He's my elder brother.
He's your very close friend. Came with him?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
So actually he stays away from our hometown, but recently I am staying in home, so he came and we like used to chant every day. So he's now interested. He asked me to let's go